4-step process, I'm going to be using the handbook of what happened in America, because you can see that the protests in America gained worldwide momentum. All right. So the first step is that we need an organization. I don't know if you noticed that Trump kept mentioning organized groups.
Being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups.
The organizers of this terror to be on notice that you will face severe criminal penalties and lengthy sentences in jail. This includes Antifa and others who are leading instigators of this violence.
There are actually organized groups at the back end that are putting fire. They are fueling the process. They are fueling the protest to keep going. You understand? It's like they are fanning the flames. Now, of course, one of the most popular ones that everybody knows is the Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter is not just a phrase. It's actually an organization, a proper one made up of people. It has a structure. It has an organization, and they all have roles that they play. Another organized group is the Antifa. The Antifa they're like made up of all colors: black, white, Indian, Latino. Those ones are crazy. They're like, let's burn it all down. They don't believe in protest and peaceful protest. They believe in fighting racism with fire. You know, they believe fire for fire, burn it down, tear everything, tear it, let's destroy it all. That is the Antifa. Now, in Nigeria, we need an organized group. I'm not saying we don't have groups like that. We have people like Segalink, and we have, so many groups that keep calling out the government when they steal. But we need groups that are specific to fighting back. We need groups that are specific to, hitting back at the government when they are trying to take us for granted, And the group will be like a sleeper cell. That means they're not really going to be like, that's not going to be their day job. It will just stay there with their organization and their format until we get to step 2, which is the trigger. I feel our trigger is more like our George Floyd moment. It's anger. Imagine that anger when we heard about Tina, when we heard about Baccarat. Is that burning moment of anger? That anger when we heard about 43 billion that the Senate wanted to use and buy cars. When many Nigerians are never chop, it's like a moment of madness. And they say anger is a small madness, and it's a short-lived madness, and you can destroy things that you will regret when you're angry. But imagine you have an organization somewhere that is repurposing that anger in the right direction, putting that anger into good use. Activists abroad has been preaching for a long time that they should take down those monuments. Those monuments are racist monuments of people who enslaved African Americans, are littered all over Europe, are littered all over America. Those monuments are coming down now because there's madness everywhere. All of a sudden, Band-Aid has now decided, it's a product that has decided that, okay, we're going to make plasters for many different colors. But are they saying they didn't know that black people existed in the past? But now, because we're having this serious conversation, people are taking it seriously, So I feel like these black Americans are repurposing their anger in the right way. It's not just ending on a hashtag or a Twitter hashtag. They are repurposing their anger to remove landmines for future generations. Future generations will talk about this day when big change was the same way they talked about Martin Luther King and talked about Malcolm X. They're going to talk about these people who use their anger to achieve positive results in America. So after we are triggered, that takes us to step 3. And which is that we must speak with one voice. We cannot afford. Black Lives Matter movement was able to gain worldwide momentum because it's like at least 80 to 70% of black people spoke with one voice. Black Lives Matter. It was clear, We cannot have a situation whereby we're like, oh, is it because it's an Arewa president? Or is it because it's Oduduwa? Or is it because it's Biafra? And, we begin to have all these ethnic divisions because it's not going to work, right? We have to be here with one voice because everything happening in Nigeria affects everybody. Doctors are going on strike when the Senate wants to renovate National Assembly with some billions of naira. It doesn't make sense. It's affecting everybody, right? SARS and police brutality is affecting everybody. Rape is affecting everybody. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we want to address this issue, we have to move with one voice because everybody's being served the same piece of slime to eat. Of course, definitely there are people that are so bigoted that they can't get it out of their head, but at least we need 70% of Nigerians to be able to speak with one voice. So the 4th step is that you must pick one battle at a time. We have to be specific. You cannot talk to everybody and talk to nobody. If the issue is police brutality, then stay on police brutality and let it go home. The Office of Inspector General of Police will be under pressure to do something about it. Because when people are protesting police brutality, there is an office in charge and they will be under pressure. If the Senate decides to sit down and have a meeting, they know that they have one bill that is on their table they are supposed to deal with, which is police reforms, and ending police brutality. So we need to take it one issue at a time. In America, it was very clear what the battle is: fighting racism against black people. And so it was clear. Everybody is getting on it. You need to buy books. You need to take down monuments. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to be inclusive. You need to employ more black people. One fight at a time. That's just how to do it. We get to the final point, which is to hit them in the pocket. Because once you get to their pockets, that is when they will listen to you. I will give you an example. This constant killing, the herds and the cattlemen crisis where people are being killed for cattle. The solution is very simple: boycott beef. According to the Minister for Agriculture, speaking last year, with a publication in Premium Times, the livestock business in Nigeria is worth 30 trillion naira. Listen to me very well. 30 trillion, that is the value of livestock in Nigeria. So that means cattle alone will be worth about 15 trillion, which is almost half. 12 to 15 trillion naira for just cattle.
This is the National Assembly.
Okay, good, got that. Astonishing. And you can even smell the dung. Astonishing.
And who owns this cattle? Prominent Nigerians, politicians, traditional rulers, senators, even the presidency. You understand? So if you boycott cattle for 7 clean days, you've hit them where it matters the most, in their pockets. Do you know how many cows are killed in Lagos on a daily? But the boycotting of the cattle is not just something people will decide at random. No, once we get a trigger that makes people angry happens, and we have an organization driving it, our people are united, we move and we boycott 7 days. Still talking about hitting the government where it matters the most, in their pocket. Do you know that the Nigerian economy is us? And they're saying the economy of Nigeria. Who is driving this economy? We are. We have the power to drive the economy. So that means on a day when every single person decides to sit at home, decides to sit at home, the economy will grind to a halt. It has happened before in this country. Maybe not in every department, but it happened before. During June 12th period, when they wanted Abacha to hand over power to Abiola, this is what happened. The 2 oil companies went on strike, Pengasson and Nupeng. The action of 2 oil unions with a combined strength of 200,000 disrupted fuel supplies, bringing Nigeria to a virtual standstill. Crude oil production was cut by nearly 25%, and world oil prices rose to a 15-month high on fears of disruption of Nigeria's export of about 1.6 million barrels per day of crude. This is what happens when everybody decides to sit at home. And the thing about this sit at home is that they might say, yeah, if you sit at home, you're fired. Don't come to work, you're fired. But what if 70% of people stay at home? Who will you fire? If every Nigerian sit at home, flights cannot fly, ships cannot dock, people cannot do clearing and forwarding. And let me tell you, the first person that will run around, the Minister for Finance. Because guess what? She's losing money every day. Prominent Nigerian people, businessmen, who have factors of production lying idle, not functioning. People like Dangote, his truck drivers, his production team, everything is grounded. He's going to run around. Okay, but you force their action. Nigerian government, don't go and riot. I don't believe in riots. I believe we should grind this economy to a halt. Sit at home. They will listen to you. conversations like this on politics in Nigeria and social issues, subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week, giving you my hot takes on some of the most trending topics, and sometimes I like digging deep a lot, so I'll also give you some insights that you have not noticed or things you have not noticed. I am a huge Pan-Africanist, so I believe in the rise of Africa, and I believe that all those forces, those shadow powers that are holding us down, we need to cut the cord and keep flying. All right, so subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I put out a new video. I put out one new video, at the very least one new video every week. Bye.